Glass textile wall covering, invented in the early 60s, has become a dominant commercial wall covering throughout the world. It comes in a wide variety of textures and designs, and it's a truly woven textile of tough, durable, and environmentally friendly glass yarns, engineered to strengthen walls and provide a service life unmatched by other wall coverings. Glass yarns are dimensionally stable and will not stretch or shrink. Glass textile is flame retardant and meet high fire norms for public buildings. Properly installed, it is mold and mildew resistant and breathes, allowing moisture to escape from the surface. It is easy to clean and repaint when necessary. But best of all, the design and color possibilities are only limited by your own imagination. The glass textile wall covering is applied like conventional wall covering with a few notable differences. All you need is standard wall covering tools and familiar products to install glass textile wall covering. We suggest a large metal putty to prepare the surface and a hard plastic spatula when applying the wall covering. A good idea is to dull the sharp edges on the putty slightly with sandpaper. Choose a sharp knife, preferably with changeable blades. You need a pencil, a folding rule, a metal straight edge, a perpendicular to ensure that you apply the first length absolutely vertical, sandpaper and a sandpaper holder on an extension stick, a brush to remove dust, a sturdy roller for large surfaces, a radiator roller for hard-to-reach places, an angled brush for corners, and a sponge for cleaning and soaking. Also remember to cover the floor with paper or plastic film. Preparing the wall surface. Installing glass textile wall covering is a quick and simple process. Make sure walls are clean and free of protrusions. To assure good adhesion, prime, rub down, or apply filler to the surface when necessary. Heavy pattern designs often take less surface preparation, but the general advice is to always fill and rub down any surface irregularities. This is especially important when using the non-woven wall liner qualities on walls and in ceilings. In case of high amounts of dust, we recommend protection for eyes and mouth. Large cracks and joints are covered with a glass scrim tape. Use gypsum boards to cover wood panels or other wooden material before applying the glass textile wall covering of your choice. Surfaces that are porous or absorbent should be pre-glued and then left to dry. This binds dust, increases adhesion, and eliminates the risk of air pockets behind the wall covering. Always use special PVAC fabric adhesive. Gypsum board. The gypsum board joints should be reinforced with glass scrim tape. We recommend two ways to do this. Apply the adhesive scrim tape over the joints and then apply the first layer of filler. You could also first apply a layer of filler and then gently press the glass scrim tape into the wet filler using your metal putty. Let dry completely and then apply the second layer of filler. Rub down with sandpaper. Then brush off the wall to increase adhesion. There is no need to pre-glue the entire wall surface. Dilute your PVAC adhesive with 10% water and apply it only to the rub-down surfaces. The wall will dry quickly. Concrete and plaster walls. Make sure to find and to remove protrusions and loose or porous material. Repair larger cracks and holes with standard joint compounds. Cracks should be reinforced with glass scrim tape before the filler is applied. Sandpaper the wall and then brush off the entire surface. Smoothly apply filler to the wall. A second layer of filler is sometimes necessary in some areas of the surface. Let dry and then rub the surface with sandpaper and brush off dust. Pre-glue the entire wall using PVAC adhesive diluted with 10% water. Let the wall dry completely before continuing. Existing wallpaper. Existing wallpaper should be taken down before applying the glass textile. Most wallpaper can be soaked down using a mix of water and traditional wallpaper glue. To enhance the effect further, the surface can then be covered in plastic. In some cases, a purposely built steam machine can be used. After having soaked the entire surface, wait until the wallpaper can easily be removed. When dealing with vinyl wallpaper, you first need to remove the watertight top layer to allow the humidity to penetrate. Soak the surface again and wait until the wallpaper can easily be removed using a metal putty. After you have peeled off the old wallpaper, let the surface dry and then apply filler where necessary. Rub with sandpaper, brush off dust and pre-glue the surface. Let the wall dry completely before continuing. Existing glass textile wall covering. When you're ready to change a pattern, there is no need to remove the old glass textile wall covering. It has already become an integral component of the wall. Apply filler to the entire surface regardless of the texture of the existing glass textile. In most cases, one layer of filler is sufficient. You will notice that the wall takes a longer time to dry when the surface, like in this case, is less absorbent. Let the filler dry completely before rubbing it down with sandpaper. Brush off, then pre-glue the entire wall using PVAC adhesive diluted with 10% water. Let the wall dry before continuing. Tile wall. Wash off the tile thoroughly with soda ash or similar cleaning material. Let dry and then prime the tile with a recommended primer. When the paint has dried completely, apply the first layer of filler and let it dry. Rub with sandpaper and then brush off the entire surface. Apply a second layer of filler and let it dry. Sandpaper and brush off any dust. Pre-glue the surface for increased adhesion and let the wall dry completely before continuing. Applying glass textile wall covering. Use only PVAC fabric adhesive. Ordinary wallpaper glue does not work. We recommend ready-to-use products since they offer reliable quality and are fast and easy to work with. Roll on the embedding adhesive liberally for 1 to 2 lengths at a time, directly onto the wall. Use an angled brush to apply adhesive to corners and edges. Make sure that the fabric adhesive is applied evenly. If too much adhesive is applied locally, these areas become pressure sensitive and it is easy to leave marks on the wall, such as fingerprints. Too little adhesive results in poor adhesion and may cause air pockets behind the glass textile wall covering. The recommended consumption of PVAC fabric adhesive is 4 square meters per liter. The glass textile wall covering can be pre-cut to length, or for larger commercial applications, a roll dispenser can be used. Use a sharp knife and a straight edge when cutting the fabric. Add approximately 10 centimeters to the height of the wall, or as much as necessary to match the pattern on your glass textile wall covering. Make sure that you always apply the correct side of the glass textile facing you. The reverse side is marked with a black line, approximately 20 centimeters from the edge of the roll. The reverse side is facing out on the roll. Glass textile wall covering is inspected before leaving the factory, and any faults are marked with a tape. If there are marked faults on one of your rolls of fabric, just cut off that section when pre-cutting your wall covering. In case of a claim, the roll's identification tag must be enclosed. We recommend a perpendicular to ensure that you apply the first length absolutely vertical. Begin to hang the fabric from a corner. Apply a pre-cut length that extends approximately 5 centimeters beyond the top and bottom edges. Press lightly from the center out with a plastic spatula to set the fabric to the adhesive and eliminate any air pockets underneath. Trim excess wall covering and prepare the next length. Apply the fabric and butt end one edge to the next with hand pressure. Match the pattern of the fabric and make sure the joints are tight. But we do not recommend a seam roller, since they may damage the pattern of the glass textile while soaked in adhesive. Allow the adhesive to dry according to manufacturer's recommendations, and paint your new wall covering in the color of your choice. Outer corners. Corners and edges are handled easily. We recommend 2 ways to apply glass textile wall covering around outer corners. Extend the fabric approximately 10 centimeters beyond the corner. Apply adhesive evenly to the other surface. Use your hands, or in some cases a wet sponge, to mold the fabric gently around the corner. Hang the next pre-cut length with sufficient overlap to match your glass textile pattern. Press lightly with a plastic spatula to set the wall covering to the adhesive. Cut through both layers of fabric using a sharp knife and a metal straight edge. Peel the strip from the wall and fold the fabric in place. Make sure that the joint is set tight using your plastic spatula. Avoid using a seam roller. Let dry completely. Paint the wall in the color of your choice and let dry. Sandpaper the corner gently before applying the second layer of paint. Inner corners. Make sure that the first length hangs vertically using a perpendicular. Apply the glass textile wall covering with overlap and set the fabric to the adhesive using your hands or a plastic spatula. Cut close to the corner using a sharp knife. The overlapping should only be minor. Apply adhesive generously in the corner using an angled brush. Hang the second pre-cut length all the way into the corner and match the patterns. Make sure to apply the wall covering vertically even if the corner is not absolutely straight. Let the surface dry completely before continuing. Electrical outlets. Always make sure to disconnect the electrical power before applying glass textile wall covering. Apply adhesive to the surface and then simply cut around any electrical outlets or other protrusions before the fabric has dried. Use a sharp knife and a metal putty. Allow the adhesive to dry and then paint the glass textile wall covering in the color of your choice. Choose the type of paint, degree of gloss to suit requirements for wear and durability. Application of 2 coats of the same paint often gives best results. Glass textile wall coverings bring color, style and function together, providing solutions and design alternatives for both commercial and residential buildings.